Okay, good morning, Rebbe. Today we'll look at the Sifra that's Niuta. And let's open it up here. So we're actually see some tremendous things here. We did yesterday number Kaf Hey. And what he has said is that this Ruach, the Ruach comes from Abba, is really the Kli itself, I believe. And this Kli is going to be transported, as we're going to see it, he's going to say it again, down all the way down into the Yisod of the Nukva. So, now, let's see, we've got to go up to number Kaf Vav. So, let's say, let's read again for number Kaf Gimel, just get a little flow of what he's saying. He says, the Zer Anpin is placed into the Das of Zer Anpin, and this is the Kli that Ima receives, which he had explained over here, is this concept of, let's see, he had words for it. He had the Viradakya and Eshadakya. So they had returned to Chasadim and Gevuros. But that sounds like also that this is also contained within this Kli. So he said, Besod Chasad the Das, and so this is the Chasad the Das. Somewhere in that concept, I just haven't quite got it, is how the Chasad the Das are the concept of the Kli, but for Oche the Sata, and it makes a Yichud down below as well. Okay, so I think there, let's see, where are we? Where is it? Number 27. So he said, number 26, down below is number 26. Let's see if I can get it. So it says, Milsa the Sata. So he says that the pasuk which says, V'la'achi the Sata. He said this particular word, Lissa b'defus Rishon, the one that came from Manitoba and Grimona, that original publication, it wasn't in there. And the beer Yakar. Pirish Marie Sarok also doesn't appear over there. But does appear over there. So it's also added in though in this reading, a little Rizal. I was to say that I guess it's like the Re. So I guess it's I don't know, Tukan is I guess the panemius of this is al yedech defus kushta. So I guess the real way it's supposed to be is according to the one that came out of Kushta also. And Misham Huva b'defusim boim achrav, and then it came into other ones. So what it says down below, so that's really that's what they're talking about. That's why the lamata is there. So I tell you that it's Zohar v'nuk instead of Abba v'ima. And we're going to see this coming now. So he says etzem hazivug hu lamala. The root of the whole process is up above, placing this ruach inside of the nukva, along with the mochin, or he says, I don't know if it's along with the five chasadim, five chazoro, the five chasadim. Not sure what how it goes. Mala abechek abba ve'ima, where it goes into that. But amnam etzem azivug hu lamala bechek abba ve'ima. Now, since he said that, he's really talking about who is that? That's the yichud of Zohar v'nuk. He said, but that's the one which is said several times and makes the kli. But it's at the chek. It's a yichud ach ba'ach. If that's what he's talking about. So hu lamala bechek abba ve'ima. It's explained over there, and it's also brought in the Ha'aros over there too. So let's go on a little bit more and let's see what we have to do in it. We're on number 26. And so I have to read after number 26. So he says, "V'achid l'sata, v'achid shenimshach ha'memochin v'chakli b'rosh zer anpin." So now the mochin and the kli are moving together. Two different things. Once again, the kli seems to be it comes from the yichud ach ba'ach. Oz misached zer anpin lamata im hanukva, and then this causes a yichud down below. So the zivug, v'oros hamochim, the oros of the mochin nimshacha b'neknasim b'yisod the nukva. Now we're talking about the kalim and the mochin. He said the chasadim, the bechinas hakli, the chasadim that are the aspect of the kli mischavrim im hagavuros should be yisod the nukva b'yisod hazivug. Now the important thing for answering what seems to be, he says the chasadim, which are the bechinas hakli. So they are associated with the aspect of this kli. This is the chasadim. So, okay, how the chasadim make a kli, I'm not sure that I understand. It's a problem for me. So going on, so now this a yichud takes place. The nimsa, so he says this means the nimsa shazer anpen misached im iber melamala ve'im nukva lamata. In other words, he's penetrated by ima up above, and he's penetrating into the nukva down below. He's sosim, and he says he calls both of these. He calls them usosim umachase as pesachima. He closes it up. He seals it up. Lamala pesach nukva lamata, and also closes up the opening of the nukva down below. Shahare roshes er anpen lamala. We'll just take a break now. Rebbe's phone cut out. And we'll come back here in a minute. Did I do something wrong? Let's see. Take more than a minute. Okay. There we go. Okay, back again. So he had said, let's try from Lahai, where it said that in the bold print. So, Nimsa shazer anpin misached im ima malamala v'im nukva lamata. He's saisin the makasach at pesach iba lamala. So that's the language. So up above, of a pesach hanukva lamata, same thing. Shahare rosh zer anpin lamala soger as sod the ima, as you sewed the ima. A mislavish bo canal, and is clothed hamislavish bo, that is inside. In other words, it swallows it up. Then he said v'yisod the zer anpin, so the zer anpin. Lamata Soger as Yisod Hanukva. So this is our first break here, number 27, number Kaf Zion. He says, Rei Bashar Mamari Rashbe, look over there, and he says, Shabir Khan explaining over Zelda Shana V'Alche Lahai, Pirishki Kamosha Anai, the Ima, Miss Lavshim Toch Reshid Azer Anpin, she's inside of his head. Kach anachi de zer anpen, the same thing with zer anpen, his nai, anim shachim v'neknasim, b'nekudas Sion, into this place which is the yesod of the nukva, which is called Sion. That dot, which is Sion, shall yesod the malchus nukva delay, which is malchus, which is female attribute. Mischavrecha b'zod zivug. Chamish Chasadim Shalosh, so he joins together in the secret of a yichud. Chamish Chasadim Shalosh v'chamish Gavur Shalosh. V'oz gam Pesach Rachma shal Nukva Dzer Anpen Shehid the Sata, which is below him. He gam came stumbachum bechusis, she becomes also closed up, covered over. The nimsiki rashis high miftka achi v'sago le'ima. So he says that I guess he means to say it's like a straw with six lines. I'm just trying to picture it. The straw with six striations going down it. He says, and that those six they fit into ima, or they're swallowed up ima. Ki rashis high miftka achi v'sago le'ima. The siyuma saga v'acha the sata lenukve. That's what that phrase means, Ad Khan. He says, he says, what do we want to know over there, Ayin Sham? He says, Rei Gam Bahadras Melech Khan, Zel Shanam, Va'achi the Sata the High Lahai, Pirush, Milvad Masha Mechaz Bepiska Shalbina, besides Veka covers over her Pisla because she's surrounded inside of him. He says, Shehi La'ela Berosha, Gam Achi the Sada, B'malchus, V'soisim Piska, B'zivug, in making the yichud with her, he closes up that opening, closing up the opening, because he's saying the end, Vailaman the Galit Piskal. So he says, what is that? He says, over here he's closing. V'zecha she'amar l'hai bina l'hai malchus. That's what he means by that. Now, let's go over here and let's look over now at the language of the Pirush. He said, "Availaman the Gali Piskal." So there we are. Oy lemisha garim bechatov. Person we understand in those sins. Galos says piskei hayisoda shel ima, to reveal them v'nukva. In other words, end the yichud of Zohar v'nuk through their yisodos. For ayin who, so the v'inyan who rather is yisodos the ima v'nukva stumim, if they're closed up. I just realized that there's a lot more of the piece that I was doing before. I thought it was a separate one, but I'll read down to it anyway. So the ima v'nukva stumim al yedei zer anpin ka'amor az ein dinim gemurim. So as long as the connection is in place, everything is okay. As she pulls out her netzachod and yisod. The mislavshim barosh their anpin and puts them into and pulls them back. Let's say mislavshim that were clothed in the head as their anpin. The nimsa she yisod ima megulus, and now you see that she has nothing covering over her yisod anymore. So this causes also, well, the pipe stopped at the top, so then the bottom also pulls out. And he doesn't make a yichud with the nukva. Gam yisod the nukva megula. Now her yisod is also megula. So gilui arayos, that is the gilui of ara, gilui of erva. So this causes the dinim that are found in this female aspect. That's what starts coming out of the yisodas by themselves. Okay, so let's look over here at the part I thought it was a separate issue. Back over here to the second paragraph on the right column, and let's see, we have a little bit of time. He says, Shabir inyan yichud zer v'nuk kan the hindel besod siyas kli ein sham. So this is the yichud that we're talking about. V'hindel the inyan zer anpen is boil the ebach ha'aros shemakabel al yedech bebiyah rishonet hem hamochen l'mislav shebenai the ima. So as a result of the first yichud, now it's not clear whose yichud we're talking about, but I'm assuming he means for the yichud rishon of Abba ve'ima, of making the kli. I'm not sure if that's what it is, or is it that I'm a little confused actually. Is it a yichud inspired by Abba and Ima up above, or is this as a yichud of Zohar v'nuk lamala b'chek? Because he mentioned that previously of the Hek Abba which is a yichud of Zohar Benuk and Ach Ba'ach. But let's go on. The Kli B'Sod Chasadim the Das Ein Sham. So he says that the Chasadim the Das are the Kli. Now, I think he's saying that. I said I'm really quite sure that I could believe that or that I'm reading it right. But the Chora Kozach B'Nimshah Gam Al Nukva. So the Chora on the Sof it winds up going into the Nukva. This whole 5 Chasadim, which are the Kli. V'chein yesh debayir b'shar ma'amari Rashbi. He says on Nizkar, the nimshacha b'yisod the nukva, hein b'bechinas mochim b'sod nai dezer anpen. So he says that what's going in is the mochim that are in is nai. V'hein b'bechinas kli, but also kli too, both of them. B'sod chasadim amischavrem b'zivug kanal. So he's saying that the real kli of the nukva can only be made, or is made out of the chasadim, when the chasadim are placed into her. Before that, she's just gavuros. I don't know. Let's go on. The concept we're talking about, the perfection of the nukva, or making her into a kli, I think, in the bia rishona. The Ray Gam Be'etz Chaim, look over there, the Eitz Chaim, what does it say? He said, B'toch Devar, V'ayna the Aim B'bach Oz Rock Base Mochim V'chetzi. She only has 2.5 mochim. Ki Daita, because her das, Kala, is missing, is short. It's only the 5 Gevuros. Shehem Ad Chetzi Adas, which is half of the chaz. The Gevura, the Nukvas, the Gevura are Nukva. So it's just the Gevura, that's the female aspect. But then there's a yichud takes place. Of a Bia Rishona, Yehivba, and the first time that he has yichud with her, he gives her this rucha. Now this rucha had been traveling, right? It originally came from Abba. So he says, Yechiv ba rucha v'nodishucha ben dehayin. So this is a little bit hard for me. What's the rucha down here? He says it's the ben dehayin. So he gives her the number 52, v'netoisiv oz gam ben. So oz gam ben bedas the nukva. So then this ben also now comes into the nukva. Now how do we get the ben? He gives, let me just read one more time. He says, I'm sorry, b'bia rishona, Yehiv ba rucha, that rucha that we've been talking about, which is the 5 chasadim. Kanodishucha ben dehaim. So the 5 chasadim, he said, comes out to be the ben dehaim. I'm not sure how that is. But the Tosef oz shem ben bedas the nukva. So now the name ben is going in to the das of the nukva. Then you see that are completed there. 3 complete mochin right in her right there. I guess the ben does that. I'm not sure how this works. The v'kol is zerah ben, because the power of this ben, he ma'ala man. So ben is really the bottom of the, and as a result of being at the bottom, it has the position of a ma'ala man. Ad kan. Ray became Shlomo. So it's been a long time since we've seen that. V'chein ku b'bashar ruach hakodesh over there. Amnam Ray. So look. You see. He says, so what? How much more time we got? We got time. Ray be'etz chaim. Look over there in the Eitz Chaim. He said where he says he said ba'ofen acher, in a different way to look at this. They got a different way to look at it. Fine. So he says acher kitzas. He said v'hu, and it's like this. This is a different way. 1 second. So he said this is a different way. Ki hamochin nimshachim megugol to the nukva. So the mochin actually extend down from the skull of the nukva, I guess, which is at the chazes pen. I'm not sure how this works. Then after the mochin start going into the rosh of the nukva, then it starts coming in this sod of the rayo, because the rayo. So how it is that the rayo represents the kli, so it could be yisod the nukva besod the zivul. So I'm a little bit confused because the rayo is a big part of our Rosh Hashanah too. and a little bit confused about. We had 5 Chasadim, Vira Dakia. He says now we're talking about Raya, which is the word Gevura. So exactly where that is, I don't know. Which is the secret of this Raya we've been talking about. Yisod the nukva besod the zivug in the secret of the yichud. There you see the Rayo coming in. The Zel the Shono. He said v'achar nimshach zivug atachton the zer benuk. So then what he says nimshach, it stands down the zivug to zer zochar benuk. V'oz nimshach sod Rayo tachton ala malchus. And this now there is a lower Rayo that gets all the way down to her. V'techida gimel mochin the chabad. So first the gimel mochin go into her chabad the zer anpen. Meirin begol to the nukva, and from there they're able to shine. Well, let's get the words exactly right. From the first, the mochin come into the chabad of zer anpen. That's in his head. Now she's down below him. So he said the chabad of zer anpen. Hey meirin, then they shine begolta into the gugolta the nukva. V'achakach noisin the zer anpen ba sod rayo. Then later, when exactly, I don't understand, he gives her the lower rayo tachnos. This is the language that he's using here. V'zeh hakli shel hanukva tato adkan. And that, the rayo, is itself the kli of the nukva, something like that, adkan. Now how the rayo, which is 216, compares to the 5 Chasadim, which he also said is related to the Kli, which is a different number, which is the number 130. I'm not sure how that works out. So, in other words, it's Tzarech Bir. V'chein B'vucher B'shar Kabbanos also over there, Ein Sham. Okay, so now we got the number Kaf Ches. So, how much more time we have? We have 3 minutes, so I don't know what we could do with Kaf Ches. Kaf Ches says, Rei B'shar Maimari Rashbi. Look over there, he says like this, Shabir V'kam Zel Deshano. Zechah B'masha Hamava'achi L'hai L'hai, he makes connection. V'nim Sechah Steaming Tarti. The two are closed up. Steaming Tarti area, and he closes up 2 of the ervas, the Iba or the Brata. So this is also Malchus Anima. V'oz ein ha-dinim gemurim, because at this point then the dinim are not completed. What does that mean? Because shecha v'chaz v'shalom yitzvah chotin. He said v'gormin l'salka imach bonim. She leaves the children. V'oz imach v'salachas nahi dichloch v'golgolta. There's her anpen. He says we heard this before. Limsa yisod shadach megulas. But what happens is you're not megula or yisod. So this is the font which all kedusha comes from. Gam az nimshach shagam azer anpin nistalik le'ela. As we read previously, ve'enon misyached, and they're no longer in a state of yichud. They're no longer closed up. Im nukva zecha begam yisaf. So he says im nukva. V'az gam yisod nukva megula. So now her erva is also revealed. Which is the source of all the goodness for us. So that's what that means. So that we cause it that's where it comes from. The Mishach and the Mata start going downward. The Zohar says, "By the man the Gali Pischa," war to the man who reveals her opening. The Gam came who so Mash Amar Bezoyer become a Bekomos. We see the many different places of Pashas Achrei Mos. He said Vine the man the Gal the Aryan. He said Begam Zehu Sod is Talkus Imer Bonim. It has 2 different parts. One is the Stalkos of Eva, and the other one is Stalkos from the Nook. Begam Zehu Besod is Stalkos Os Vov. I hate the Torah. It ends the chain. That's it. Thank you for learning with me, Rabbi. Thank you.